14. Yeah, let's go to 14. If his offering to the Lord is a burnt offering of birds, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or pigeons. Doves and pigeons are the same breed, they interbreed. Pigeons are somehow bigger than the doves. Hope you understand. And the priest shall bring it to the altar and wring off its head and burn it on the altar. Wring. And burn it on the altar. Its blood shall be drained out on the side of the altar. Put the blood on the side of the altar. When you go to our shrine, when they slaughter the bird, the chicken, anything, they drain the blood on the side and even put the feathers attached to it. Don't you see something like that? Excuse me. Don't you see anything like that? That's idolatry. So when I tell you Islam and Christianity are idolatry, I have scriptural proofs. I wanted the Malams and the pastors to have come, and I'll read these things to them. And listen, he shall remove its crop with its content and cast it beside the altar on the east side. So you don't just do things like that. In the place for ashes, he shall tear it open by its wings, but shall not sever it completely. So you hold this wing, and pull it. But don't let it tear apart. And the priest shall burn it on the altar, on the wood that is on the fire. It is a burnt offering, a food offering, with a pleasing aroma to the Lord. So they are eating. Burnt offerings. That you should hold the wings like this and pull it. But don't sever it. Don't let it tear apart. And you burn it. Is this not rituals? Taboos. You should do it like this. If you don't do it that way, you won't get what you want. Okay. Now let's go to Numbers 28 verse 1. Numbers 28 verse 1. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, command the people of Israel and say to them, my offerings, my food, for my food offerings, my pleasing aroma, you shall be careful to offer to me at its appointed time. The Lord is hungry. And you shall say to them, this is the food offering that you shall offer to the Lord. 2 male lambs, a year old, without blemish, day by day as regular offering. The one lamb shall offer in the morning, and the other lamb shall offer at twilight. So daily offerings. You see, the people were tired and they dumped Yahweh. That's why he scattered them. Every day they show Yahweh and Allah are bloodthirsty. They are vampires. That is why Syria, they kill themselves and their waters become blood, because Allah needs blood. If I want to open to you the people they've killed in this book and the Quran, you ask yourself, Allah and Yahweh and the devil, who is now the devil? The devil has not killed a single person. The devil has not even spoken. We have not heard from the devil's side. So the people who are claiming to be the creator are imposters. So if I say they are the devils, understand me. Daily offering, lambs, one in the morning, one in the evening. And in Judges 11 verse 10 to 39, Jephthah, or is it Jehoshaphat, he killed a virgin girl, his virgin daughter, to Yahweh. Please, a virgin girl was offered as sacrificial lamb to Yahweh. Why? Because he asked Yahweh to help him conquer the Amorites. And Yahweh helped him, he conquered them. And when he was coming, he vowed that anything that will meet him on his way, he will kill it for Yahweh from his household. And he has a dog, a puppet, which used to meet him whenever he's coming from war. So when Yahweh went and killed that dog, when he was coming, it was his little daughter who met him on the way. And he said, my little daughter, you have destroyed my life. You have downfallen my spirit. And he killed that girl for Yahweh. Go to Judges chapter 11 verse 10, 30 onwards. Which God is drinking the blood of virgin girls and turn around to tell us that he's God. He's the creator. And Lucifer, who has not killed anybody, is the devil. Innocent virgin girl. Now let's go to Genesis 35, verse 6 to 7, where Jacob offered drink offering. 35 verse 6. And as they journeyed, a terror from God fell upon the cities that's verse 5, that were around them, so that they did not pursue the sons of Jacob. And Jacob came to Luz, that is Bethel, which is the land of Canaan, he and all the people who were within him. And there he built an altar and called the place El Bethel. El means God. Eli, El. Because there God had revealed himself to him when he fled from his brother. So El there, when the Israelites say God, they are meaning Yahweh. So he built an altar there. Then going towards 15, and Jacob set a pillar in the place, that's 14, where he had spoken with him, a pillar of stone. He poured out a drink offering on it and poured oil on it. Drink offering, that is wine, libation. Libation, simple as that. So Christianity is what? Idolatry. So this is the God Allah said he is. Yeah, he is the God of Israel. Now let's go to the Quran. Allah. Verse 2, that is Surah Al-Baqarah. Verse 2, verse 7. Is it 1, 2? Surah Al-Baqarah 2 verse 7. And the prophet said to them, indeed, Allah has sent to you Saul as king. They said, how can he have kingship over us while we are more worthy of kingship than him, and he has not been given any message of wealth? He said, indeed, Allah has chosen him over you and has increased him abundantly. So Allah is claiming that he is what? Yahweh. Let's go to verse 14. Baqarah verse 14. 40 to 47. That's chapter 2, Surah Al-Baqarah, the cow. Chapter 40. That's Quran chapter 2, verse 40. O children of Israel, remember my favor which I bestow upon you, and fulfill my covenant upon you, that I will fulfill your covenant from me, and be afraid of me only. Verse 47. O children of Israel, remember my favor that I have bestowed upon you, and that I prefer you over the worlds. That's other people. And fear the day when no soul suffers for another soul at all, nor will intercession be accepted from it, nor will compensation be taken from it, nor will they be aided. And when we saved you, your forefathers, from the people of Pharaoh, he said Pharaoh. He did not tell us the particular Pharaoh. So here, if it's Allah who is speaking, Allah is ignorant. Which Pharaoh is talking about? So Allah has proven that he was the God of the Israelites who saved them from the people of Pharaoh. He should have told Pharaoh this: who afflicted you with the worst torment, slaughtering your newborn sons and keeping your females alive. And in that was a great trial from the Lord, from your Lord. Good. And recall when we parted the sea for you and saved you and drowned the people of Pharaoh while you were looking on. And recall when we made an appointment with Moses for 40 nights. Then you took for worship the calf after him. So Allah is proving that he is Yahweh. And he says he parted the sea. Meanwhile, nobody parted the sea for nobody to walk through. It is a paintings on Egyptian walls or Egyptian tablets, a stone. That shows, in that drawing, we have warriors with armor, and they were drowning in water, and a big fish was swallowing a soldier, and there was chariots and horses somersaulting. And the background depicts water. Nobody knows the kind of water they were talking about. But you know that horses can swim across rivers. And you know that military men are swimmers. They can swim across rivers. And there's no fish as big that can be in the river that can swallow a human being. So definitely that was the ocean. And they said Pharaoh, and so the ship swallowing the soldier is what they used to write their this guy, the guy who was fleeing, and and the fish swallowed him. And then the Pharaoh's warriors who were drawn in the sea is what they concocted the story from. There was nobody called Moses in Israel. Nobody called Jesus. Nobody called David. The real name is David. David. Diodu. And these were black people, but they don't know. Our ancestral stories, they used to create these books. So Allah says, He is Yahweh. He is the God who parted the sea. So please, upon what I have read from the Bible, who is Allah? He's an idol. He's an idol. So they made a mistake by saying Allah is the God of Israelites. That's an idol. In actual sense, in spirituality, even though I have not practiced spirituality, scientifically, what I have discovered, Allah is different, Yahweh is different. They are two opposing forces. And Allah was the first of those powerful spirits to kill a brother. And his sister, Alset, that's Isis, Hera, Aphrodite, Diana, Mary, Maria, Maya, Liberty Woman, Ashra, the same woman. You have to change the names. She resurrected her husband, Alsar, or Osiris, who is Yahweh. Oh, we understand. Allah was the first to kill one of his, because he was a cunning guy. He deceived him. And these people were pharaohs. Allah converted the throne at the time Osiris was ruling. And he made a coffin and said he's making a coffin when the pharaoh dies. A nice coffin for him. When the pharaoh dies, they will use it to bury him. So a present to the pharaoh. And he said Osiris should try it. Many people tried. When Osiris entered, he murdered him and nailed it. And Osiris died. So he used tricks. He used tricks to get what he wanted. And actually, he has tricked the whole world, and the whole world has slaughtered animals in his name. Today, it appears to ignorant people, Europe, America, Africans, Arabia, it appears to us that if you don't slaughter animals in the name of Allah, it is poison. But the Chinese don't slaughter animals in the name of Allah. No. Because they are conscious people. The Japanese, the Singaporeans, they are conscious people. The Hindu Indians, the Hinduists, they offer sacrifices to their idols. So Allah is the devil, but you don't know. Anansi. I can't call him Anansi. He used trickish means to get what he wants. And you see people going to Mecca to kiss pussy. They lick pussy. And they don't even know. They don't even know that they are licking a woman's private parts. Kai. So Muslim scholars are telling us that Islam existed before even Muhammad was born. In the olden days, even the pre-Islamic Arabians, they worship idols. Everybody worship idols. So if you think the previous prophets were Muslims, please, they all worship idols. Israelites worship idols, everybody. And still, we are still worshiping idols. But in disguise. So Islam is idolatry. They said since Adam. Do you know that Adam's children offered burnt sacrifices on stone for Yahweh? Yahweh took the animal one and rejected the food offering, and Cain has to kill Abel. Children practice the religion of their father. That means Adam also offered sacrifices. Simple. So Adam was practicing idolatry. And Islam is still idolatry. They are just lying to us. So the Israelites were idolaters. So why do you say Islam is so idolatry? Allah says He's Yahweh. according to the Quran. So it's an idol. And they say they don't discriminate among prophets. Chapter 2, verse 137. So, if you don't discriminate among prophets, the problem is, there's nobody called prophet. I was watching a video with Mami Grace and Reverend Evelyn Wilson, a very short one on Facebook. It's like I posted it. Reverend Evelyn Wilson told Mami Grace that prophets and fetish priests are the same people. In P we say, Enkom Shefor prophets. The fetish priests, we call them Akomfor. Please, one comma where they are share. You do divination before you prophesy. So it is idols which will reveal prophecies to prophets, and they will prophesy. So they are fetish priests. It's not the creator. The creator does not prophesy because nobody has seen the creator. The misunderstanding is this. The national idols, the powerful ones, are called gods. Nyami. So their fetish priests are called prophets. Or the chief priests. And the smaller, lesser gods are called abosum. And their fetish priests are called fetish priests. You see, so the fetish priests and the prophets are the same people. But the prophets are fetish priests of a higher deity. So, Komishefo, Akomfo, the Omoye Bako. Nyame ne bosom the kro, but bosoma where bosom tatahi, the most powerful bosom in your land is what you call Nyame because we respected them. So Nyame sum abosom sum is the same thing. When you are dealing with the national god, it is Nyame sum. When you are dealing with the lesser god, it is abosom sum. So religion and idolatry, the same thing. When you are dealing with the national guards, it's the whole empire, the whole country that have to deal with the national guard. So we call it religion. But when you are dealing with the lesser guard in your house, we call it idolatry. But in its actual sense, they are all idol worshipping because those national guards are also idols. Simple as that. So the Bible is from Judaism. The original Hebrew text. They translated them into Greek and compiled a book called Biblio. And when it got English, it became Bible. And this is the book of Christians. And the book in itself has proven clearly that the Israelites were worshiping idols. Yahweh is an idol. So when they created the religion, the new Christianity, the first component is, or the first prerequisite is you enter into a covenant with a spirit, an idol, a deity. Then you lie to the people that that spirit is the creator. Because if you tell them it's an idol, they will worship that spirit for you to take their benefit they should have derived from worshiping theirs. So you have to tell them Allah, Jesus, is God. You see that? Then if he is God, how did you know that he is God? He spoke to you through a prophet. So you need a prophet and you need a book. So they stole this book. If the God of the New Testament is the God of the Old Testament, then Constantine or Christianity would have been worshipping Yahweh. They will not worship Jesus as their God or the Trinity. But when they worship Yahweh, they will not get the blessings. The Israelites will take the blessings. So they have to create a new God. Then when it comes to Islam, they created a new God. So if Allah is the God of the Jews, and the God of the Christians, and the God of the Muslims, then they should all be Muslims. You see the secret? So every religion has a specific name for the idol or the God. And they will say that is the creator. Which of them is the creator? This is the secret. So in Quran, they said they don't discriminate with, I want to go fast, they don't discriminate with all the prophets. But we don't have prophets. If you tell me prophet in the sense that people who were sent by the creator, that is a complete lie. That's the religious aspect. But prophet as the fetish priests of the national idols, then That one, everybody have their so a confonoche, they were all fetish priests. So we don't lie. We didn't lie to people. But they have to lie. So they say they are prophets sent by the Creator. They are lying. They are fetish priests. And there was no any Jesus in Israel. Nobody was born of virgin birth in Israel. Nobody was called Mary, but the Quran has confirmed that. That shows that the Quran is also false. False information there. There was no Abraham. There was no Isaac. There was no Adam. There was no Noah. These people are not Israelite names. So where are the original Hebrew manuscripts? Your own people they are talking about. So if the Quran has also believed in the prophets, that means the Quran is also false. But they don't know. Because we don't have prophets sent by the Creator. They are fetish priests, and every land has their idol and their fetish priests. But because they want us to worship their idol, they will tell us that idol, that spirit is the Creator. And their fetish priest is the prophet. Simple as that. Simple. So if Muslims believe in all the prophets, then I'm telling them that all the prophets were fetish priests. They were idolaters. They worship idols. So they should not turn around and tell us that idolatry is blasphemous. And the same stones we are worshiping, the same stone in the Kaaba. Now let's go to the Bible. They said, let me read from the Quran first, that they don't discriminate from all the prophets. That's Surah Al-Baqarah verse 2, chapter 2, that's Quran chapter 2 verse 136. Say, O believers, we have believed in Allah and what has been revealed to us, and what has been revealed to Abraham and Ishmael and Isaac and Jacob and the descendants, and what was given to Moses and Jesus, and what was given to the prophets from their Lord. We make no distinction between any of them, and we are Muslims and submission. So they don't make distinction from all the prophets. They mention Jesus' name here. So the translators of the Quran use the word Jesus. They should have used Yeshua, because there was no Jesus in Israel. Now let's go to Genesis chapter 8 verse 8 to 10. Genesis chapter 8 verse 8. Noah offered sacrifices. I've ever read this thing before. So Genesis chapter 8 verse 8. Then he sent forth a dove. Okay, verse 10 going. No, verse 18. So verse 18. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. When the flood receded, the boat came down, and they went out, including all the animals in pairs. Every beast, every creeping thing, every bird, everything that moves on the earth went out by families from the ark. So they also went out. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord. Altar is idolatry. Altar is idolatry. And took some of every clean animals and some of every clean bird and offered burnt offerings on the altar. He burnt offerings on the altar for Yahweh. Then Noah, and when the Lord smelled the pleasing aroma, the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground because of man, for the intentions of man's heart is evil from his youth. Neither will I ever again strike down every living creature as I have done. So when Yahweh smelled the aroma, he was pleased. Is that the Creator? So if Muslims are telling us that they believe in Noah, the God Noah served is an idol. Now let's go to Genesis 15 verse 18 thereabout. 15 verse 18 or verse 8. Abraham, verse 1 going. After these things, the word of the Lord came to Abraham in a vision. Fear not, Abraham, I am on your side. So let's come to verse 8. But he said, "Oh Lord, how am I to know that I shall possess it?" Yahweh promised him of a land. He said to him, "Bring me a heifer," that is a young bull, 3 years old, a female goat, 3 years old, a ram, 3 years old, a turtle dove, a young pigeon. And he brought him all this, cut them in half, and laid each half over against the other. But he did not cut the best in half. And when birds of prey came down on the carcasses, Abraham drove them away. So he cut the heifer, the goat, the blah blah into half. Apart from the birds, he killed them. And carcasses, the prey came down, vultures, and he drove them away. Then he put them on altars. He wanted to burn them. As the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell Abraham, and behold, dreadful and great darkness fell upon him. Then the Lord said to him, blah, 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 blah. Then chapter 17, when the sun had gone down and it was dark, behold, a smoking fire pot and a flaming torch passed between these pieces. On that day, the Lord made a covenant with Abraham, saying, "To your offerings I give this land, from the river of Egypt to the great river and the river Euphrates." So Yahweh burnt the carcasses. He can stir on them and they will burn. When you go to Chronicles, that's 2 Chronicles verse 20, 1 Chronicles verse 21 to 26. Let's go to 1 Chronicles, chapter 21 verse 26. I'm building a point. 1 Chronicles chapter 21 verse 26. Let's go there. David, Moses call it Dawood, and they say he's a prophet. They believe in him. He counted the Israelites. He held the census, and Yahweh was angered. He wanted to kill them. He has killed someone. He wanted to kill David, and David has to offer a burnt offering to him. Chapter 26. 1 Chronicles chapter 21 verse 26. And David built there an altar to the Lord, and presented burnt offerings and peace offerings, and called on the Lord. And the Lord answered him with fire from heaven upon the altar of burnt offerings. So David offered burnt offerings on an altar to the Lord. So all the prophets you are talking about, they all offered burnt offerings. Burnt offerings to Yahweh. So if you think Yahweh is Allah, all the prophets, and you believe in all the prophets, they all offered burnt. I read that of Moses. I read that of Noah, David, then Abraham's children, Jacob, all of them. They all offered burnt offerings. So if Islam, they are telling us that they believe in all the other prophets mentioned in both the Bible and the Quran, then that means Islam is idolatry, because all those prophets worship idols. They offered burnt sacrifices on altars to Yahweh. And that God in the Old Testament is not the creator. That is an idol. So Allah is an idol. So they made a mistake by saying Allah is Yahweh. Because any religion, if the religion is new, you must link it to the other religions and say they were misled. So when they tell you the prophets were sent by the Creator, that's a lie. They are false prophets. So all the prophets in their books are false prophets. All the gods in their books are false gods. That's why you have worshipped them. You have not earned anything. We have fetish priests, and we don't know the real names of these people in Israel. This is what they're talking about. We need the real names. They were Israelites. That's why they conquered the Israelites and wiped them out the face of this earth. Because the original Israelites would have come out and proved to us what exactly were their ancestors and what exactly happened. And they would have accepted that Yahweh is an idol. But they will call Yahweh God, their creator. So we are also supposed to call Asasiya our creator. So if you are in Ghana and you say La ilaha illallah, we are supposed to slaughter you. There's no God except Allah. No, there's no God except Asasiya. That's what we are supposed to say. So when you go to Arabia and you offer sacrifices to Asasiya, they will slaughter you. That is what they did in the ancient days. So we are supposed to say their idols are false gods, they are the devils. But our national God is the creator. That's what we are supposed to do. That is why they conquered us, they war with us, conquered us, and forced us into this religion. So we are living a lie. So go back and retake. Go back and take your household idol and your suburb idol, your communal idol, your tribal idol. Go back. Let's go back. Let's go there for a pilgrimage. So at the right time, we are amassing. At the right time, we will have to rise up and fight and close all churches and mosques. So I'm putting this information out there. If you're a Muslim and you're watching, know that you have been misled. Islam is a false religion. Allah is the devil, and Muhammad is a false prophet. Our prophets are confirmed, Nochi and Co. They are the true prophet. They did the rare miracles. And we have evidence of them here. You go to Saudi Arabia, there's no single evidence of Muhammad. Not even his descendants. Not even evidence of his miracles. You go to Israel, you can't even find the original Israelites. Not talk of Jesus' home or... go to the museums, you don't see them. Go to the museums, you don't see evidence of biblical and Quranic stories. No. You see evidence of ancient Egypt, which even came before Adam. So, according to the Bible, there were idolaters, there were idol worshippers, the prophets, the original Israelites. But a Mala will tell you the Bible is wrong. The Bible is wrong. That's what they can tell you. If the Bible is wrong, but Muhammad also offered sacrifices. Muhammad also offered sacrifices. He conquered the Arabians, broke the idols, and forced them to come and worship the Creator, only for them to end up offering sacrifices to the same Allah through a stone. So Muhammad lied to them. So Muhammad also offered sacrifices, and we will come and read them. We'll come and read them. Our ancestors worshipped the Creator or the Creators through stone, only for Muhammad to come and tell us that they were idolaters. The stones were shirk. We should throw them away. We should come and worship the Creator. When we went to Mecca, we didn't meet Allah. We met a stone. So we are worshiping the Creator through a stone. What is the difference between ours? He lied to us. After all, before Muhammad, the Arabians were poor. After him, Islam, look at how they are rich. So the blessings we are supposed to derive from our idols is what we are offering for them to take. Simple as that. And you know that Muhammad offered sacrifices in the Kaaba on the stone? Let's go to the Quran. Quran chapter 2, verse 196. That's Surah Al-Baqarah, verse 196. And complete the Hajj and Umrah for Allah. But if you are prevented, then offer what can be obtained with ease of sacrificial animals. And do not shave your heads until the sacrificial animal has reached its place of slaughter. Which place? Don't shave. When they go, they shave their heads, they shave their armpits and their private parts. When you go to our idols, is that not what they do? That do not shave your heads. Just like how Yahweh is telling you, it's idols which have taboos. Don't do this, don't do that. The Creator has no taboos. And our idols also have the same thing. That you usually shave their head unless they get to Mecca. You go to Mecca, a foreign land, and shave your hairs and your armpits and dump them there and come here to Ghana. Do you know what they do with your hairs? Foolish people. Black people. And these people are roaming our communities and they aggrandize themselves as Alhaji. Meanwhile, they've not even constructed proper functioning toilets in their homes. And when they grow old, they will defecate in chamber pots for their children to take them far away and throw them. You have sent money to practice foolishness. And whoever among you is ill or has an ailment of the head, making shaving necessary, must offer a ransom of fasting 3 days, or charity or sacrifice. So your head is paining you, you have to shave. Then you must get to Kaaba before you shave. But if you are sick and you shave, then you must fast or charity or sacrifice. And when you are secure, then whoever performs Umrah during the Hajj month, followed by Hajj offers, what can be obtained with ease of sacrificial animals. Sacrifice animals there. Then a fast of 3 days during Hajj and of 7 when you have returned. Those are 10 complete days. This is for those whose family is not in the area of Al-Majid al-Aram and fear and know that Allah is severe in penalty. So that we should offer. I want you to know that the sacrificial animals. That's what I want you to take note of. Now let's go to 108. That's still at the 108 verse 2. Quran chapter 108 verse 2. That offer sacrifices to your Lord. That pray to your Lord and offer sacrifices to Him. Quran chapter 108, that's Surah at Kausar. That is a river in paradise. That's the Kausar. Chapter 2, verse 2. Quran chapter 108, verse 2. So pray to your Lord and offer sacrifices to Him alone. They are talking about Muhammad. Verse 1 says, indeed, we have granted you, O Muhammad, Al-Kausar. So pray to your Lord and offer sacrifices to Him. So Muhammad also offered sacrifices to Allah. Just like the rest. We don't offer sacrifices to the Creator. Now let's see where they offered animal sacrifices in the Kaaba on the stone. That's the place of sacrifice. Let's go to Quran chapter 22 verse 33. That is Quran chapter 22 verse 33. That is Surah Al-Hajj. verse. Feature out what Jandi move here. Jandi microphone. Yeah, somebody needs me, but I am doing a live video. Mirror live video. So by me. So let's go to Quran. Yeah, Quran chapter 22. That's Surah Al-Hajj, verse 33. Somebody wants to see me, but I am busy. Indeed, verse 23. Indeed, Allah will admit those who believe and do righteous deeds to gardens beneath which rivers flow. They will add, verse 33, sorry. Let me start from 32. That is so, and whoever honors the symbols, that is right, of Allah, indeed, it is from the piety of hearts. When they say symbols, rituals, or rites. Verse 33, for you therein, that is the animals marked for sacrifice, are benefit for a specified term. Then their place of sacrifice is at the ancient house. Ancient house. And then in the footnotes, the ancient house is this. Within the boundaries of Haram, that is the Meccan Mosque, within its boundaries, which includes Mina. So the town of Mina. If you offer sacrifices there, you are offering sacrifices to Allah. So if you're a pilgrimage and you go there and you die, you are dying as a sacrificial lamb to Allah, because He did not call you there, you came there. And you have said, La ilaha illallah, ashhadu Allah, you have offered yourself as a sacrificial lamb to Allah in advance, but you don't know what you are saying. The Creator will never tell His creation that they should say there's no Creator anywhere except He, that Creator. Whether you believe in the Creator or not, they don't care. Whether you worship them or not, they don't care. Whether the Creator will never enter into a covenant with his creation. It's idols that enter into a covenant with man to do what you want for you. So the place of sacrifice is the ancient house. Let's go to Quran 22 verse 28, chapter 22 verse 28. You see, I wanted them to come for the debate, and I'll read these things. Now that I'm reading, they'll watch the video and go into a meeting and find a way of maneuvering. When they come, I'll give them more. These people will convene a meeting to deliberate, do calculations, extrapolations to come out to lie to the people. They say, when we say this, they will say this. Then let's tell them this. They are just like MPP politicians. They convene a meeting to deliberate to come and lie to people. So anytime you go hold of a pastor, when I hold them, I ask them questions they can't answer. Then already, it means their religion is falsehood. But the next day, they will catch the people who were witness and deceive them again. So they don't want to come in. They don't want to come and debate me. Let's go to Surah Al-Hajj. That's Quran chapter 22, verse 28. That they may witness, benefit for themselves, and mention the name of Allah on days over what he has provided for them of sacrificial animals. When you want to slaughter the animal, mention the name of Allah. Now let's go to 34. And for every religious community, we have appointed a rite, that's of sacrifice, that they may mention the name of Allah over what he has provided for them of sacrificial animals. Allah says, he has provided the animals for you. Take some and sacrifice for him. Why don't you take it? And he says, he wants to test your piety. Allah, you don't know our piety unless we sacrifice. And Allah will tell you that Allah is not interested in the blood, he's not interested in the meat. He says it here, that he's not interested in the blood. Our idols didn't chop the meat. They didn't drink the blood. It is the spirit, the soul of the animal they take. So they mentioned his name before you. So the question I would ask you to Idawa is that, what is the name of the Creator? If you say Allah, Allah means the God or God. There's nobody called God. And if you think Dr. Zikri said the right name of God is Allah, he does not know what he's talking about. If that is the Creator, it is the Arabians who will call him Allah, not me, a Gonja. And if you think the name of the Creator in his world, his realm, is Allah, are you telling me that the Creator's language is Arabic language? Who has gone there to hear what the Creators say? These religious scholars are the greatest liars to ever step the foot of this earth. The name of the Creator is Allah. What kind of nonsense is that? Is that the language that the Creator is speaking? So, let's go to chapter 2, verse 36. And the camels and cattle we have appointed for you as among the symbols, rights of Allah. For you therein is good. So mention the name of Allah upon them and line up for sacrifice. And when they are on their sides, then eat from them and feed the needy who does not seek aid and the beggar. Thus we have subjected them to you that you may be grateful. Allah is telling you you should eat after you have sacrificed for them. It's human beings who wrote these things. So that we offer sacrifices to Allah. You are supposed to mention, if Allah means God, then in Gonja is Abore, in Dagomba is Nawuni, in Eveoa Wulomo, in Ashanti is Nyami, in English is God. So if you're an English Muslim, say, God, it is in your name I am slaughtering this thing. Nobody will come and take. Say, Onyami, with Dimunti Nami Ekuabowe, nobody will come and take. So they say, mention the name of Allah. You should say Allah, your language. This is the secret. So our ancestors wrote these things and they told them. So our ancestors say, mention the name of the idol in slaughtering the animal. Hope you understand. So who did our forefathers mention before Islam? And the Hebrew people, when they were offering the sacrifices, what was the name they mentioned? Let's go and ask them. So Muhammad also offered sacrifices at the Kaaba. And so the place of sacrifice is what? At the ancient house. And there's a stone there. There is a stone there. So they offer sacrifices on the stone. Some people told us the Arabians used to slaughter animals in the Kaaba on the stone. Then they would clean it. We did not believe. It is there in the Quran. Then there's a secret. A Malan will tell you that the greatest reward in animal sacrifice is a camel. The next is a horse, a bull, a donkey, a ram, a goat, chicken, bird, they are lion. The greatest one is human sacrifice. It's idolatry. They don't want to tell, they didn't tell them the truth. So these Arabians are still engaging in human sacrifice, even in the Kaaba. But they told us our ancestors offered human sacrifices and they sin. When you go for the pilgrimage, Allah will cause stampede. Anybody who dies there is a sacrificial lamb to Allah. When Muslims are warring, they will fire a missile into a hospital, killing patients, medical professionals, children alike, and they will shout, Allahu Akbar. He's offering sacrifices to Allah, but he does not know. They will slaughter man and say Allahu Akbar. He's offering human sacrifice to Allah, but he does not know. And when the Syrians war with themselves and kill themselves, and their water became that genocide, it is Allah who needs blood, because they've already offered themselves to Allah. Now, let me sum up. If both are idolatry, then which of God of Arabia and Europe? Yeah, they are worshipping the God of Arabia and Europe. Where is our God? That's why we are suffering. When you go to Deuteronomy 32 verse 1 to 27, that every land has its God. I want to summarize. Every land has its gods. And if you leave your land gods and worshiping other lands gods, your land's gods will punish you. So the Lord was very angry, and you think that was the creator. When you go and read Deuteronomy 32, 16 onwards, and Jeremiah 3 verse 6, the Lord's anger was burning fury. You think the creator was angry? If the creator, the being who created this universe is boiling, is angry, do you know what will happen? That's an idol. So let's see what happens when you reject your land's gods. Let's go to Jeremiah 5 verse 10. Jeremiah 5 verse 10. That it shall come to pass, you will ask, why has our gods done this to us? Jeremiah 5 verse 10. And they shall tell you that because you serve other gods on your land, you shall go there and serve them. So 5 verse 10, Jeremiah 5 verse 10. Go up through No, 5 verse 19. Yeah, that's 2 verse 10. Let's go and read 2 verse 10. Jeremiah 2 verse 10 first. Therefore, that's verse 9. Therefore, I still contend with you, declare the Lord, with your children's children, and I will contend. For cross to the coast of Cyprus and see, or send to Kedar and examine with care. See if there has been such a thing Verse 11. Has a nation changed its gods, even though they are not gods at all? You don't change your national idol. When you go to Micaiah, you say, every nation walk in the name of its idol. You go to Proverbs 28, verse 20 verse 28, that do not move, do not change your tradition, custom. Now let's go to 5 verse 17 or 19 onwards. Jeremiah 5 verse 19. So verse 18, but even in those days, declares the Lord, I will not make a fool end of you. And when your people say, why has the Lord our God done all these things to us? You shall say to them, as you have forsaken me and serve foreign gods in your land, so you shall serve foreigners in a land that is not yours. So please, have you seen an Arabian young girl in Africa looking for a job? Have you seen an Arabian youth or an Arab man here looking for a job unless they're here to do investment? Have you seen an European young girl here looking for a job unless they're here for either tourism or anything? No. Because we have dumped our national idol, we dumped our lands because of Islam and Christianity. That is why we are trooping outside. And do you know what they are doing to us there? Look, let me tell you another thing. If you don't worship the gods of your land, even the wealth that are buried in the lands, you will not benefit from them. So the white people have exploited, they've mined our mineral resources for over 500 years. They are exploiting our crude oil. But no pastor, no mother is lamenting over it, but they are praying for prosperity. And nobody has risen up to say they should stop. No pastor will do that because they came here and told them that they should tell us that we shouldn't convert worldly wealth. We should worship God and go to heaven. We will go and work on gold, and they are digging our gold. So the pastors and the malams are doing the work of the white people. They are not doing God's works. Because why are you praying for prosperity? Why do you sit down and watch foreigners loot your resources away? So because they were able to condition us to serve foreign gods, we cannot even benefit from what is from our land. And it is only black youths, African immigrants, who are leaving Africa. Our scars have cluttered the Saharan desert. Our bodies have flooded the Mediterranean Sea because we are trying to cross for greener pastures. Meanwhile, all the wealth in Europe are taken from here. So we are leaving the wealth. So our land guards, they are, as I see here, and the other guards, they have bewitched us. They have destroyed our brains. We are desperately looking for what is already and what is under our nose. They have destroyed. You see, we are cursed. They are cursing us. They are causing confusion among us. So we die like chicken, and not just death. We die horrible deaths. We sit on the world's most fertile land, but we are aborting our fertile. Over 54,000 abortions recorded in 2016 by Ghana Health Services, the whole country. Those that were done outside the health facilities are uncountable. But we sit on the world's most fertile lands. So because of anger, we are aborting our children. And we are looking for jobs. Meanwhile, if we should cultivate that plant to produce biofuel alone, that alone is enough to create jobs in this country. But our leaders, they will have that common sense. So your land guards and your land guards and your ancestors, especially your land guards, they will curse your leaders. They will stupefy them. So they will be causing havoc in you for nothing at all. The MPP and NDC have looted us for close to 50 years, but they are not. They've not enriched themselves to say, "Oh, now we'll loot them." They don't pay bills. They take high salaries and incentives, cars, fuel-free, everything, and they still loot us, and they still waste our resources. Instead of investing in local manufacturing, they won't do it. So your leaders will cause havoc in your hearts. Traditional authorities, our kings and queens, they are insulting us. Foolish people who will loot you. Yes! the pastors are deceiving their congregants and looting them, but they don't know, and they are impoverishing them because we have dumped our national guards. The spirits that our ancestors enter into a covenant with are punishing us. We can't marry. We can't build our own houses. We are borrowing to survive. We are borrowing people who have nothing buried in their lands. And the loans won't take us anywhere. During Kufuor's time, they canceled our debt. Today, look at where it is. And they're looting our resources 24/7. And we are robbing ourselves. Mobile phone scamming. Scammers. Stealing, pilfering, filth, debt, diseases. And when we go to their land, they will seize a fully blooded, energetic youth, black African youth, shackle them on a chair and dissect them, cut them open. They will not even inject them with anesthesia and harvest their organs. Take those organs and go and cure their useless people. And when they finish, they will teach you anyhow and throw you away to die. I shared a post on my Facebook page about 5 years ago. And a human farm that was discovered in Libya. They dug about big pits. And when they were harvesting there, they were throwing them there. The picture is there. Our leaders, politicians, parliamentarians, they see these things, but they will never do nothing. They're supposed to declare fugu and kente, local fabric, as school uniform, and all government workers must wear them, and the leaders must take the lead, leadership by example, to wear these things, so that they will create jobs here. They will have that common sense. Even if we tell them, they won't do it because they are possessed. A Kenyan girl was tied upside down, and they whipped him, and she died, and they packaged her in a coffin and brought her to Kenya, in Arabia. When I showed it to a colleague Muslim, he said, that is good for her. They go there to do fornication. I said, you have already judged that girl. You weren't there. You have already judged her. So we ourselves are possessed. We are mad. We are mentally deranged. We are dumb. We are stupid. We are extremely idiotic. We are desperate, looking for survival. Meanwhile, that should not happen on the African continent. We have wood resources, we have forestry resources, we have water resources, we have land resources, we have mineral resources, crude oil, we have rains, we have drought, we have solar energy. Human resources, we are endowed, we are bursting with human resources, but we are desperately looking for survival. Our land guards are punishing us. One girl narrated a story that her master, she was a housemaid in Lebanon. She sprayed LPG gas on her and ignited her, and she was burning. And when she was burning, she tried to go to the showers and she collapsed. The next time she opened her eyes, she was at the hospital. Neighbors heard her crying, and they called the police. And the police came and took her to hospital. She was lying on the hospital bed, praying to the doctors and the nurses, and even that his master, that he should let her call her parents so that they will come and take her to Kenya for medical attention. They refused, and they refused to attend to her. For a good 2 weeks, her case became serious before they brought her home. When she touched down at the airport, she was whisked away to the hospital. Intensive care unit. She passed away. She passed away. They refused to. They will kidnap these our beautiful young girls over there, rape them, and when they are done with them, they will throw them from a high building, headlong on the ground. They will kill them before they throw them. And when they take her to the hospital, a foolish medical doctor will report that it is suicide. So we are speaking logic with critical thoughts, logical reasons. And we are giving scientific proofs, documented facts, common sense, and civilization. So I'll end here. My WhatsApp numbers +233 5450 5470. Then +233 +233 503 686357. Then my Momo number is the first WhatsApp number. Buama Emmanuel, today's black man doesn't qualify to call Abua. We have to invite Boko Haram to kill us all. One of my brothers said, we need an intercontinental ballistic missile to throw in Africa to wipe us out. Asai Yao Techi, may our ancestors bless you and lead us from this religion. Thank you, my brother. May they bless you too. Thank you very much, bro. Daniel Bassi. Thank you, everybody who is watching. Gado Focus, Benjamin Tete, thank you for teaching. Yehuda Ben Yesia, Kentana, Unwanted Truths. Thank you, my bro. Manano, Father Bronzy. Hey, Father Bronzy. That is my godfather. He's watching me. Father Bronzy. Aua. Then we have Abiyaku Solpon boy. Hello, big family. Hello to my brother. Kofi Badu. Another lightning is rising us from the darkness of brain-washed education. My mother nature and our ancestors protect you from bellyful religious leaders. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the Rashid Ramadan. Ricky Kwame is watching. Bob Zah, Sandag. We love our religion, our prophet. We love. He's still one of the brainwashed brothers. Religion is forced mental slavery. Onyiwa Kwame Mashua. Frederick Achampon is watching. Thank you, bro. Jack Boa. Nice one, bro. Well, so please, my appeal for fun. Send me Momo on +233 5450 5470. The name on it is Abdul Latif Seidu. Also go on my YouTube page, YouTube channel, and subscribe. Search for DJ Prody episodes. Prody is spelled with Prody. DJ Prody episodes. Thank you very much.